Morning. And welcome to what is most definitely a craptacular Tuesday. And I forgot my sunglasses in the shed last night. Chopper number 1 is down and out. She needs some work. It literally sounded like a grenade went off underneath my feet yesterday. And I'll show you why. Mid-afternoon yesterday, I hit either a rock or a chunk of concrete, and it kind of grenaded the whole cutter head, which we just put the knives in 4 days ago. Completely trashed cutter bar. Sharpening door is bent. That knife laying there got thrown through that shield, which goes on the back side over here. It goes on the back side of the drum right there. It's probably too dark to see. Threw it up against the bottom of the cab, cut a hydraulic line damn near in half, broke a wire harness, and now Bart's going through the parts book making a shopping list because Hector's already somewhere over in Kansas on his way, most likely to McPherson, because I don't expect any dealer to have half of this stuff. The drum itself, I think is going to be okay. It's going to need a little welding in places to fix some of the big gouges. But yeah, that's how crappy yesterday ended. I think we found everything that needs repaired now. It's 8 o'clock our time. Hector is already 3 hours into a drive to McPherson, so he should be there in about 2 hours. Bart's on the phone with him ordering parts, so hopefully they will be available, because there's a lot. So it's going to take a whole new set of knives. The hold downs, about half of them are broken. There's 2 that are bent, one that's broken half right there, so you can kind of get an idea of it. The nut bars that go on the back, there's going to be quite a few ruined. Don't know if we'll be able to get all them bolts out. Everywhere he marked is one of these angles that's going to have some damage to it up in here that we're going to have to weld. That's all hard surfacing, so if you don't get that repaired, it'll wear out super fast. Shear bar ruined. This plate is good. The shield right here ruined. Door on top, sharpening door ruined. Already showed you guys those. Everything's ruined. Hopefully McPherson has it all, and Hector will be headed this way in a couple hours. Went ahead and dropped off the fuel trailer. No point in dragging that around for the rest of the day. Bart is gonna keep stripping down the chopper. McPherson had every single part but one. It's not even a rubber seal. It's a rope seal that goes on the. It's an odd duck. I don't know what we're gonna do there. But McPherson had every other part. That's why we send somebody 5 hours over there to get it. Hopefully, what time is it? 9. He's probably about an hour away. Hopefully we get the chopper put together by end of day. Dream scenario is get it put together quick enough that we can go chop a load, but I don't think that's going to happen because too many of the things that we need for like any of the steps are stuff he's going to bring. So what I am doing, because I'm out of some chemicals, I'm going to run over to see what our local supplier has, because the agronomist dropped off this week's homework. Gotta get started on that. I don't even know if I was holding the camera and looking at the paper. I gotta get started on that. So Harley and I are gonna go see what chemical we can find. Hoses hooked up, valves open, water's flowing. Start blending in some chemical. Corn is coming along nicely. Got stripes from the VT. Get the weeds killed. This is going to be good field. I don't know how well you can see it, but there's kind of a mat of pigweeds trying to come in areas out here. Not to mention a little bit of regrowth, but corn is coming up nicely. So we got a good stand. Field's all striped from the VT. Get this application on. Hopefully all the weeds will be done in this field for the year. So far, out of everything, I think there's only 2 fields, so 70-ish acres that are going to need a second tree, which is awesome. That means our pre-emerge program works really well. Second crop, you have a lot more difficulties. It's usually better to let it come up and then spray. Downside is, and you leave a deeper track because the ground's a little softer because you had to irrigate it at some point. You know, some days you just can't believe the amount of shit that goes wrong. So I got done spraying, went to lunch. I only sprayed the one load because it's getting hot. Now we got showers trying to start to build. Our rain chance went from 20% to 90%. Stopped by the shop, talked to Bart. He's good. Going solo for a little bit on the chopper. Fortunately, he's bouncing back and forth between the chopper and our tub grinder that's broke down. So as he said, he ain't getting the damn thing done. But he said he doesn't need any help right now. So I'm coming up here. I bought a new pump in that box over there for my Roundup, because that one took a crap on me. I was coming to mess with stuff, and as I pull up, I notice the forklift that was over there is now buried here in the soft sand, because that's what this forklift does. I'm telling you guys, some days you just can't believe the amount of things that go wrong in a day. That is going to take a tractor and a big tow rope to get that out, because that thing is heavy. Alright guys, the afternoon got away from me, and you spent all afternoon just hanging out here on the sprayer because I forgot you. My apologies. New pump installed. It's ready to go, which is good because I need Roundup in the morning for what I'm spraying. Let's go to the shop. Okay, I know I kind of went over some of this, but we're still in the process of tearing everything apart this morning. So if some of this is redundant, I apologize. I just want to cover it. So this is what they call the grass chute. This goes between the knife drum and the blower. It moves in and out for clearance for the KP when you're trying to crack the kernels in corn. Well, obviously you don't need it when you're chopping wheat. So that guy destroyed. This guy, the back shield, if I didn't point it out this morning, there's where the knife came through and hit the floor of the cab. Completely destroyed. This guy is the shield right on the front side here. Oh, we got the angle off just a little bit, so this thing's hard to swing. That guy goes right there. Really? Try this again. All the way open. So that guy goes right here. Has some really big dents in it. The next one, that is the sharpening door. That guy right there. Hopefully you can see that in the dark. It is bowed. Underneath him is what they call the smooth roll scraper. Well, you can see where the rock went through. Pretty evident. That guy goes right here because there's a smooth roll on the backside. As you can see by the shine, new cutter bar. Old one, I believe I showed you guys this morning. All new knives, all new bolts, about half or 2/3 new hold downs, and same thing with what's called the nut bars behind, which are these guys. And yes, we giggle every time we say nut bar as well. So this morning when I showed you the drum, it didn't look that bad. There was a handful of knives missing that you could see. Look at how many of them just completely sheared off the bolts. The others are bent. The hold downs were kind of the same way. Where did that bolt go I was looking at earlier? Here's how quite a few bolts that didn't shear off came out. Good stuff. So now Bart put in one hell of a shift today. 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. working on this thing. Granted, he spent a little bit of time on the grinder just because we were trying to do multiple projects, multiple people. That did not work at all. So where do we stand now? We are fighting like hell to get that tiny little nut right there on a position sensor back in there. I don't even know if you can see it in the dark. It's just kind of right inside there. That lets the chopper know the position of the door. Once we get that done, next big project is to pick up where Cameron left off. Cameron was doing the blower paddles inside of here. Hey, you can actually see a couple. And tried to cut his finger off. He's at the hospital now getting it checked out. I asked him if he got done, and well, he just replied with some words I can't say to you guys. Get the paddles finally adjusted. Here's the scraper that forces them to let go of the crop and throw it up the tube and not wrap it around. Get that guy installed. Here is the shield that the knife went through. That'll go in. Then that grass chute on top of the crate will go in. We are really hoping by 10-ish tomorrow, this thing is up and going. Really hoping. Glenn, on the other hand, had a really good day. He knocked out somewhere in the 150, 160 acre range, which is phenomenal. I believe last time I talked to you guys, I said we had 2,400 acres to go for that feedlot, plus some to come to our pit, plus some to go in the pit we got to haul 20 miles to. So of those acres, yesterday, it was kind of a double-edged sword. We actually knocked off 600 acres. But the reason we did that is because there was some of it that was getting so dry that we physically could not chop it. So with a crop reading around 30% moisture, it will not ensile. There is no point in us doing it, and the feedlot's not going to adjust it all the way down to that moisture, so the farmer is losing money, we're losing money. It's a lose, lose, lose for all three parties involved. So unfortunately, we had to give up on a decent chunk of wheat that just ran out of time because of all the rain. And then right about now, you're probably saying, where in the hell are we going? It's a cool sunset. Neighbor's still out working in the field. We have now gotten to the point where we've got another grenade in the mix, and that is first cutting alfalfa. Maddie has been swathing like a madman the last, what is it now, 4 days? I think it was Saturday we started up. So we got 4 days of alfalfa, anywhere between 100 and 200 acres a day she laid down. I gotta go check it to see if we can rake and bale the first chunk of it tomorrow. Now, our first cutting, the quality is very poor, very mature, very stemmy, because of how much it grew with all that rain, and then a lot of weeds came in it. So it's gonna be grinder hay / cow hay, depending on who grades it that wants it. It's gonna be interesting to see if it's dry enough. It's really bright when you point it at the pickup, but then you look over here and you can't see anything. So, if you're new here, don't know what I'm talking about when I say checking hay, you have to come flip over these windrows. Let's go over here where you guys can see maybe in the headlights. What you have to do is come check these windrows. What you're looking for is any sign of stem moisture. So you want to find a part where the windrow's pretty big, kick it over with your foot and pray there's not a snake hiding in it. And then you'll feel for the wettest part of that row. See if I can hold the camera in the armpit. Oh, baby. So you'll feel for the wettest part of that row. Let's go to the hood. This will work better. This will work. I'm getting there, guys. I'm getting there. If I don't get ate up by mosquitoes. And get the old twist test. One twist, it snapped. Whoa, this is ready to bale. Holy cow. How do you guys in the Midwest deal with mosquitoes like this? I'm not used to this part. So with this field, and the one that was cut I think the day before. We've got 70 acres that we need to rake tomorrow. Here's the other catch. We only got one rake hooked up. How many end rows we got here? 4, 5, 6, 7. Good God, it's like being on silage crew. That's gonna be fun to bounce all them tracks. Oh, look at that kochia. Yeah, I can't even roll down the window and show you guys anything because it's too dark. So we've got 70 acres that can for sure go. And there's like another 60 that was cut the same day that might go. So I'm thinking in the morning we're unhooking a grain drill to get baler number 2 back up and running. My baler's been hooked up, kind of piecing along the little 30 acres here, 30 acres there. I think we're about 200 acres into first cutting, so barely started. And it's damn near the 1st of July. But right now, guys, it is almost 9:30. I'm exhausted because 5 a.m. was a long time ago. 5 a.m. is rapidly approaching again. I'm going home and going to bed. Peace out.